Hello and welcome to another episode of Coach and Coffee. As always, you need to go get your coffee and then come back when you have it so that we can do this together. I am not here to drink alone. You may say, it's too hot out to have coffee today, Joel. And to that I say, you're wrong. This mug is the Honduran flag. Got it from a lady down in Honduras. I've gone down there a few times on projects building houses, and it was very kind of her. She gave it to gave one to the whole team. It's an awesome mug. Great country, beautiful country, just going through rough times. Anyway, we are talking about heart rate monitors today and whether or not you should use one. The very simple answer to this question is it depends. And everyone hates that answer, so let me go into a little more depth. The purpose for using a heart rate monitor is because it is an objective measure of effort. So no matter what, if you are working really hard and your heart rate is at 180, you're working really hard and your heart rate's at 180. If you don't have a heart rate monitor on, you might think you're working hard when your heart rate's actually at like 160 and you're not actually working that hard, but it feels like you're working hard. So it gives you an objective, concrete number that is indisputable for that time and that moment as to how hard you are working physiologically. It does have its downfalls. Some people don't like training with data. We've done at least one article on this before, so if you go to triofitnessocr.com and go to our blog section, you can find that. But some people just don't have the personality type that enjoys that, or some people maybe have jobs and lives that are extremely structured and they just want to break away from the structure while they're working out and training, so they don't want something telling them to speed up or slow down or where they're at and constantly giving them data feedback. Some people like myself want an objective baseline number where I know how hard I'm working right now. If my plan was to work harder for this workout, I know I need to put in more effort. If it was to work less hard for that workout, I know I need to scale it back. So personality types depend. How you're feeling a certain day might affect that. If you're not training with heart rate, I would suggest that you use RPE, which is rate of perceived exertion. After you've trained for a while and after you've used the scale for a while, it becomes more beneficial than it is at the start. At the start, it's kind of guesswork, but once you get a feel for how you actually perform and what levels of effort you're actually performing at after exercising over a period of time, you get pretty good at predicting or feeling at what level you're exerting. So usually people do a scale from 1 to 10. 1 to 20 gives you more room for like those middle ground areas where you're like, well, I think it was a little more than a 6, but I wouldn't say it was at a 7. So maybe, you use a scale from 1 to 20 to get more minute detail in there. Doesn't really matter. 1 to 10 works just fine. But you'll learn after you've done it for a while of actually paying attention to how you're feeling during a workout compared to other workouts and different types of workouts, running to weightlifting, circuit training, to AMRAPs, all those types of things. You'll get a feel for the level of effort you're putting in, and as long as you're actually gauging it, if you can do it in your head, good for you. If you can write it down, that's probably going to be better for most people, but that'll give you a great way of tracking things, big B, versus using a heart rate monitor if you don't want to do that. If you are using a heart rate monitor, I highly recommend, I completely discourage the use of watch heart rate monitors. Mine has one in it. I never use it. It is not accurate, and it has never been close to accurate. And this is a Suunto 9 watch. It's a higher end watch. I got a discount. I'm not rich. But even with a higher end watch, it is not an accurate heart rate monitor. It's never been anywhere close. When I do obstacle course races, I don't wear a heart rate monitor. but I've gotten pretty good about gauging RPE from looking at data and how I feel at the same time during races. And I know that these numbers aren't even remotely close from the heart rate data on this watch compared to when I wear a chest strap, which is about as accurate as you can possibly get these days. It's not even close, not even close. If you think it's right, it's probably not. Maybe there's a watch out there that's doing it well. I haven't heard of one yet. They all seem to have a pretty big disparity in actual data after a workout. So like I do a lot of mountain running around here, and I'll see my heart rate, you know, on a long steep climb in the 170s usually, depending on how hard or how fast I'm trying to go up the mountain. But at just a normal thing, it'll be in the high 160s to mid 170s. But after an obstacle course race with a long climb or something, it'll say I'm in the 190s or something with the watch heart rate monitor. And that doesn't happen with a chest strap monitor, even if I'm doing way harder efforts. So if you're going to use a heart rate monitor to track your training, do not use a watch one. It will be a waste of your time. You might as well be doing RPE. It'll be much more accurate than a watch heart rate monitor, at least for activity. I have seen different articles and experienced myself where if you're just doing like walking, or if you're resting and checking your heart rate, it's very close there, but during activity, for whatever reason, it's not. Even if you tighten the watch, which is what most people say, oh, it's too loose if you're not getting accurate data, I can make it super tight and it's not even close. So maybe it's this brand, this watch, but I've never heard of an accurate watch to date. Use a chest strap heart rate monitor. That about covers it. It's pretty simple. Getting started might be hard if it's something you haven't done before. Either one of these things, RPE, rate of perceived exertion, I can talk, or using heart rate monitor data. They are easy to get the hang of. It might be a little learning curve at the start. So if you have questions, just shoot us an email at info@triofitlife.com, or comment on this video or one of our social media things or whatever, and we are happy to explain things in more detail to you. There was something I was supposed to say here today. Maybe there wasn't. I guess not. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Coach and Coffee. I can't talk.